Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world today. Hope you're doing all right. We're going to get our stream started here. We've gotten our adventurer sitting here in Ul'dah. We've unlocked Crystal Tower. We moved our character over to the Crystal Data Center, trying to find a more populated data center than the one we were on anyways, and hopefully we can get our queues a little bit faster, and that seemed to be the case a couple days ago when we did this last, so thank goodness. We'll go ahead and queue up for Crystal Tower, Labyrinth of the Ancients to start with here today, and continue on with our story. We've got to go to Horizon and speak with Y'shtola, it looks like, to continue our story here. Our crafters and gatherers are already through their level 50 stories, so we can put them aside for a little while here while we get through this post-Realm Reborn content. When we get to the next expansion, then we'll be able to pick up our crafters and gatherers again if we want to. Alright, so let's get on over to Horizon, right? Alright, so we can just pop on out. Pop on out here and we'll fly over. Anne, your assistance is most welcome. I have already spoken at length with the brass blades of the Rose, albeit to little avail. It would seem that the thieves took great pains to conceal their activities. I could go into further detail, but your time might be better spent in conversation with Fufulupa. He is the officer charged with leading the investigation, and I would only be repeating that which he related to me. If aught eluded my attention, mayhap it will not elude yours. Anne, what a pleasure to see you again. Y'shtola said to expect you. Terrible business, these thefts. We have yet to confirm the quantity of crystals stolen, but I dare say it may be greater than... but never mind that. I have news to share. A short while ago, the driver of a heavily laden carriage refused to halt for inspection and broke through one of our checkpoints on the Royal Allagan Sunway. The cart bolted off toward Eastern Thanalan where, thank the gods, I hear that our colleagues were able to apprehend them without further incident. A speeding carriage. That would seem a curious choice for thieves of such proven cunning, yet the Amalja do have a foothold in Eastern Thanalan. And what of their cargo? Did they carry the crystals we seek? We should be receiving a report any moment now, but I fail to see what else it could... Did you miss me, friends? I'm back, but I fear I come bearing disappointing news. Or, on second thought, perhaps it's good news after all. Thancred, wherever have you been off to? I figured you had everything under control here, so I just took a brief excursion to the east to check up on our Amalja friends. And wouldn't you believe it? I happened upon a runaway carriage on the way, and even was able to do my small part to help my friends in the Brass Blades intercept it. In all my years, I have never seen such a prodigious quantity of somnus. The Blades were calling it one of the greatest hauls they've ever seen. The stolen crystals, on the other hand, were nowhere to be found. Is that so? Alas, I suppose we have no choice but to resume our search elsewhere. We should reassess our options as well. Come with us, Anne. Against all expectation, it would seem the Amalja are innocent of this particular spate of crimes. By all indications, they have yet to replenish the stores of crystals exhausted during their last attempt to summon Ifrit. What I can't fathom is why anyone else would go to such lengths to obtain crystals and in such quantities. It cannot be that we are dealing with simple thieves. If their motive were profit, why would they limit their trade to crystals alone? Plainly, we are missing something. While you think about what it might be, I shall inform Urianger of our progress, or lack thereof.
Now then. Tis I. The situation may be more complicated than we anticipated.
Indeed, I shall remain watchful. Ere thou goest, another matter requireth thine attention. A young maiden, full eager to... Wherefore inquirest thou of her fairness? Very well. Be she damsel or devil, I shall direct her steps to Revenant's Toll. Save thine insinuations for one given to such impropriety. Thou shalt not find me amenable.
Far across the sea from the land of Domar have we traveled. We seek audience with the ruler of these lands. Who here speaks for you?
Yeah, let's see here. Nothing there. I think we've got, oh yeah, we've got this Menfina's earring, which is going to do us all the way up to level 80, it looks like. Any bright ideas? A solitary flash of insight? No? Well then, for want of a better suggestion, I say we try picking Fufulupa's brain again. Who knows, if we work together, we may yet find something of use nestled away within it. Alright. Oh, but it is good to see you return. I have given some thought to the matter, and I have just hit upon a most disturbing possibility. How could I have been so blind? Calm yourself, Fufulupa. What is this disturbing possibility of which you speak? I was contemplating as to how the thieves' activities escaped our notice for so long, and then it came to me. What if there is someone among our own ranks conspiring with them? A traitor in our own midst? It would be most unfortunate if your fears proved well-founded, Fufulupa. Indeed. If for reasons of security the concern decided to transfer the remaining crystals stored in Horizon to another location, their plans would be discovered the moment the brass blades were informed. Ah, but such a shipment would surely be well guarded. Would thieves as wily as ours risk open confrontation? Mayhap not, but neither would the concern be eager to present them with such an obvious target. Nay, they might instead elect to carry out the transfer in secret, to entrust the goods to, let us say, a lone Mikot miner traveling without escort, so as not to attract undue attention? But who... Ah, I see! Yes, the concern may well elect to do that. But to travel with so much cargo would be a strenuous task indeed, and this miner would certainly need to rest upon the way. Mayhap north of the bridge to Hammerley? A fine spot for a rest, would you not agree? Anne? You lie in wait to the north, and I shall do the same to the south. Forgive me, my friends, but I have received new orders. I must inform my men at once. Call me a cynic, but I would be surprised if these thieves lay down their arms and surrender. See that you come prepared to offer them some encouragement. Let's see, lie in wait for the thieves. Stubborn to the last as expected. You are unharmed? A gang of sea wolf thieves and Enthanolin no less. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Sea wolves? All of them? Aye, and all with the same taste and facial tattoos. Blue, in case you were wondering. Our thieves are a long way from home. Thancred, if you would be so good as to attend to the outstanding matters in Horizon, I have inquiries to make. To Horizon, then. Fufulupa will want to hear about your meeting with the thieves. On behalf of the Brass Blades of the Rose, I thank you for your service to Horizon. Ah, but we have not been idle. While you were afield, we succeeded in identifying the traitor within our ranks. Is that so? Then, by your leave, I should very much like to have a word with the fellow in private. No. I am afraid that will not be possible. Regrettably, he managed to subdue the unit of blades dispatched to detain him and made good his escape. Oh, for the love of... And how did he manage that exactly? Your men haven't been sampling that Somnus we confiscated, have they? Or was he a giant in disguise? No, but he was quite strong. A sea wolf. Leminson born and raised, I believe, but do not worry, we will find him. You have my word on that. I see. Pray keep me apprised of any developments. Yes? She's standing next to me. Understood. I fear our time together is at an end, my friend. Your services are required elsewhere. Awfully disappointing, I know, but one must follow where duty leads. You might try to look a little disappointed. Or do you mean to give me another one of your stoic nods? You do, don't you? Ah. We won't bother with getting that earring. All right. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome. We're glad to have you with us, whether you choose to chat with us or just want to lurk in the channel. That's fine too. We're playing through the story here. We're waiting on a queue for a Labyrinth of the Ancients currently. So hopefully we'll get that today. The antecedent bid me tell you to make for Vesper Bay, where young Alphino awaits your coming most eagerly. It was he who requested your assistance. Some commotion or incident, I am not privy to the details. While you do whatever it is that Alphino has planned for you, I shall endeavor to track down our traitorous brass blade, and when I do, you may rest assured that we will have our answers. Alright, we'll be off to Vesper Bay, it looks like. Let me drop some messages here in our chat here real quick. We are broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Trovo, and DLive today. All right. Fly our bird on down here to the Waking Sands. And we're 17 minutes into this queue for Labyrinth of the Ancients. If for some reason we don't get the queue during our stream, we'll perhaps do that one offline during a more populated time of day and go through highlights in a future stream. You are late. No matter, I know where our visitors are headed. From what I have been able to gather, this vessel belongs to a band of Domans who seek an audience with the Sultana. You are familiar with Doma, yes? In Otard? Well, like the rest of the nations of the eastern continent, it is ruled by the Garlean Empire. Given our visitors' unannounced arrival, as well as the state of their ship, I suspect they did not leave their homeland under the best circumstances. Needless to say, I should be very interested to hear their tale, and more importantly, what they know of the current state of affairs in the Empire. Such information could prove most useful. We would be fools not to pursue this opportunity, do you not think? Come with me to Ul'dah, and, unless I am mistaken, and I am rarely mistaken, we will find the Domans bickering with the Sultansworn on the Royal Promenade. You are uncertain of your role in the proceedings? Insurance. If our guests are not themselves Imperial agents, it seems fair to assume that they may be being pursued by some. And if not, who better than you to have on hand in the event of an unforeseen diplomatic incident? Besides, I do so enjoy your sparkling repartee. Satisfied? Good. I shall see you in Ul'dah. All right. Let's see. Yep. Get to the Royal Promenade. It matters not how many times you ask. Without the necessary permissions, none shall pass. Pray understand, good sir, we have not the leisure to lodge a formal petition. Time is of the essence. All I ask is that you summon your superior. Allow me to plead my case. Surely you can grant us that small kindness. Away with you, and darken these doors no longer. I will not ask again. You know not what you do. I gather your pleas fell upon deaf ears. A loyal man with a cold heart. I know his kind well. I hope that you will find me more to your liking. Alphino Levelure at your service, a friend. Which I believe makes me very nearly unique, in this part of the world at least. Few indeed are your allies in Ul'dah, yet you will need some if you wish to endear yourselves to the wealthy and powerful. Pray, join me and my associate at the quicksand. There you may explain your situation to us, and we shall see if there is aught we can do to help. That's right. Off to the quicksand.
We have traveled some several thousand miles across the sea from the nation of Doma, in hopes that we might find sanctuary in these lands.
Sanctuary, Lady Yugiri?
Aye. Lying within Othard, Doma was under the dominion of the Garlean Empire, as I'm sure you are aware. When the War of Succession broke out in Garlemald, we espied an opportunity to free ourselves from the yoke of imperial oppression and took up arms. Only to be crushed. And so I gathered what few Domans escaped the reckoning and guided them hither to your shores.
A war of succession? Then the Emperor... Forgive me. You said that Doma was under Imperial rule, did you not?
Doma is gone. Razed to the ground as an example to the other provinces.
12 have mercy. And your people?
On a ship anchored in Vesper Bay, flying borrowed colors. Many were complicit in the rebellion, or akin to those who were. They will not come ashore until I send word that it is safe to do so. I sought an audience with your rulers, but was summarily refused.
The lords of Ul'dah are not wont to entertain foreign refugees without suitable encouragement.
Mayhap I was foolish to expect otherwise, but our supplies run low and we have young ones in urgent need of care. I have seen the tents outside the gates, however. We are not the first to seek asylum, nor will we be the last.
Be that as it may, Ul'dah is no friend to Garlemald. Your tale would stir the hearts of many men and women here. The Sultana and the Syndicate will not be so easily swayed, but I shall see that you are granted an opportunity to plead your case.
This is within your power?
Well, far be it from me to boast, but I do have the ear of certain influential individuals.
I am in your debt.
Lady Yugiri, Forgive me for observing, but your choice of attire seems like to evoke feelings of mistrust.
Men are wont to fear the unfamiliar. We know this from experience. We seek only to spare the people of Uldar unnecessary disquiet.
I shall defer to your experience, then.
I thank you for your understanding.
It seems I have urgent business with the Flame General. I leave our guests in your capable hands.
If I may, madam, as I said earlier, we have been at sea for some several moons and our supplies are all but spent. I have not the heart to repeat the tales of our tribulations, nor would it please you to listen to them, I think. Suffice it to say, however, sacrifices have been made. Though it shames me to beg for more when you have already offered so much, desperation compels me. Good madam, if you or your associates could spare any provisions, anything at all, it would go a long way to lessen the suffering of my people. Okay. Well, Momodi. Let's see. Hells, why didn't you say so sooner, Anne? Of course I'll help. You couldn't have picked a better day to tell the truth. A wealthy merchant and his entourage were due to have a banquet here on the Morrow Sea, but just sent word they can't come, meaning I've got a boatload of foodstuffs and no one to feed. Best of all, they paid for the lot in advance. Ha ha! Go and call on Friduri and Catherine at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Tell them I said to ship the little prince's order to the Waken Sands. Oh, and if they argue, just show them those letters. That should set them straight. Okay, well, let's see. Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Through the doors here. She's in the business of feeding refugees now. I ain't normally one to question Mistress Momodi's judgment, but that doesn't seem wise to me. I'll not speak for the children, but if you ask me, any man what can't earn a crust deserves to go hungry. My, that's a rather odd request. Mayhap you misheard her instructions? Well, this letter says otherwise. You know, you shouldn't encourage them like this. They'll start to expect it. You mark my words. Sure, buddy. All right. Back to Momodi. They didn't give you any trouble, did they? Good. Now go and tell Lady Ugiri it's all in hand. I dared not hope for such magnanimity, much less expect it. Mistress Momodi is generous indeed. I shall be sure to thank her most humbly. Lady Ugiri, I briefed the Flame General on your situation. I think you will be pleased with his reply. We have been granted an audience? Before the Sultana and the Syndicate both. We should return to the Royal Promenade at once. You have done much for us, Master Alfino. I swear we shall return the favor. Naught is owed, Lady Yugiri, for naught has been given. This small favor you fairly won with your words, and it is with words that you must win the favor of the Syndicate. Then I shall choose them with care. You will be accompanying us, yes? Good. Your presence may serve to remind the Syndicate of the true meaning of philanthropy, and that nothing so unpalatable will be required of them, assuming the Domans are willing to earn their keep. Come, the Flame General awaits us on the Royal Promenade. And we're 30 minutes into our queue for Labyrinth of the Ancients. It's not a very prime time for queues here in North America, but that's what we're stuck with. Alright, to the Royal Promenade again. But at least we're not at a point where we can't continue the story without doing the Crystal Tower series yet. Get a little further into this post-Realm Reborn expansion and then it'll block us until we complete it. A pleasure, Lieutenant Adventurer. The others are already inside. Let's not keep them waiting.
I, Yugiri of Domar, am honored to meet you at last, Your Grace. To mark this auspicious occasion, I should like to present to you the finest treasures our humble nation has to offer. Alas, the circumstances which have brought me here today have divested me of both time and dignity. I come before you as a pauper in direst need of aid, to request that you grant my people asylum.
I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Be at ease, Lady Yugiri. Although I myself have heard the tale of your misfortune, I would ask that you recount it once more for the benefit of the others here present.
As you wish, Your Grace. For many years, my nation, Domar, suffered under the yoke of imperial rule, and my people yearned to be free. Thus, when a war of succession broke out in Garlemald, we sought to take advantage of the chaos and reclaim our liberty. Alas, our enemy proved less preoccupied than we had hoped, and our rebellion was put down in the most brutal fashion.
Those who survived, how many do they number?
More than 200 souls huddle within the cramped confines of our own galleon's hold. Yet this figure accounts for but one of a number of ships which escaped the Purge. It is my hope that you will allow us all to dwell within your walls. Should that prove unfeasible, however, I humbly ask that you accept as many of my people as your resources allow. Pray understand, we do not beg a boon, but propose instead an arrangement. We would serve as soldiers or tradesmen until our debt is repaid.
What are the Syndicate's opinions on this matter?
I, for one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady Yugiri and her people strike me as an industrious lot, and there are parts of the city which have yet to be fully restored. If they are willing to work, I see no reason not to let them.
The head of the Mirage Trust is not known for his generosity. He sees profit in this.
Yeah, no doubt.
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees. To admit them would require a formal resolution. Shall we call a vote?
The law is the law.
Lord Lolorito?
Tell me, are you blind or willfully ignorant? Even now, our streets are choked with the displaced victims of the Calamity and Alamigan refugees. They live hand to mouth, subsisting on aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher. The wealth of Ul'dah is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you that these refugees are prone to violence and criminal activity? You have all read the reports, I think. Without homes or employment, it is only a matter of time before men grow desperate and take that which they imagine has been unjustly denied them. Yet, knowing this, you would have us swell their ranks. Mayhap you think the brass blades and the flames are not hard-pressed enough?
Some say the chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company passes Gil thrice daily. This may explain how he came to be the wealthiest man in Ul'dah. Or it may simply be that he's ruthless beyond reckoning.
Surely the Sultanate can support the few hundred domins Lady Yugiri represents. That our resources have been taxed, I do not deny. But we are hardly in danger of financial collapse. I move that an exception be made.
An exception, Your Grace? I am suddenly reminded of a similar debate some years ago regarding a number of Alamigan refugees, if memory serves. What were your words that day? Yes. The law is the law. And so our visitors remained in Little Alamigo. Mayhap our wise and benevolent Sultana would be so good as to enlighten us as to which other of our laws should not be upheld.
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than Gil.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Ul'dah's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril. One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy. How far the vaunted Mirage have fallen, both in repute and profitability, since he began employing refugees.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote. To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Yugiri. As you have observed, however, my authority in such matters is regrettably limited. Without the consent of the Syndicate, I cannot act.
I understand, Your Grace. And I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, Little Alamigo would now be thriving. Oh, that you should have traveled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the pretense of unity. The Monitorists have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
Now let's see, what do we got? Some purple dye, million corn yellow, cork brown. Nah. Let's see what Ralban's got here. As you observe, Lolorito is not afraid to speak his mind, nor is he like to change it. Oft have I wondered how a man so skilled at weighing the worth of things should be so incapable of seeing the value in people. Ah, I will waste no more words on him. Not when the Domans are yet in need of aid. Everyone, follow me to the Hall of Flames. I'll just free teleport over there. The Syndicate has spoken, and I see no point in moving that the matter be reconsidered. The Monitorists have made their position clear. Agreed. Ul'dah is not an option. Nor are Limsa-Lominsa or Gridania, I judge, given the state of their internal affairs. Which leaves our Doman friends confined to a ship. Gods, the thought of them huddled in an airless hold with no hope of better treatment. Would that I had more time to find an alternative, a place not bound by the concerns of the great nation. Minfilia, that is precisely what I wish to discuss. I understand the Syndicate's decision, I do. We all wish to preserve that which is ours, especially when we believe it to be under siege. But I cannot meekly accept this judgment, not while my people suffer. Would it be out of the question for the Sultanate to accept us for a limited time? A week, mayhap, or even just a few days? Excellent. I shall keep you informed. What's that? Lady Ugiri, I have a proposal if you would hear it. Out with it, Master Alphino. The headquarters of my order, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, stands in a place called Revenant's Toll, an outpost in Mordona. Like most outposts, it is frequented by mercenaries and other men of action, and lacks the comforts of more well-established settlements. However, the leaders of Revenant's Toll have been doing their utmost to change that. To that end, they have need of able-bodied individuals willing to work as frontier hands. Hard labor, lest you doubt, with naught save food and shelter by way of reward. Terms not unlike those which you yourself proposed, Lady Ugiri. Though I will not hear a word said against our beloved Ul'dah, Revenant's Toll would offer certain advantages, the absence of unhelpful bureaucracy being the most obvious. If they can accommodate us all, we shall gladly accept. Master Alphino, once again I find myself in your debt. Pray, do not thank me, my lady. The life your people go to is one of hard labor and few comforts, as I told you. And before that, there remains the matter of how they may safely be borne to Revenant's Toll, which will be no small feat considering the distance and their present condition. Mayhap the Ul'dah Adventurers Guild can be of assistance. Look for me there anon, Anne. Lady Ugiri, if you and your people would accompany me, we may discuss what aid the immortal flames can provide. All right, we're 45 minutes into our Labyrinth of the Ancients queue. Now we got to go speak with Alphino. We are concerned that the Doman refugees may find the journey to Revenant's Toll too much to bear. Too long have they been sequestered aboard their ship with insufficient supplies and scarce room enough to breathe, let alone stretch their limbs. With that in mind, Mistress Momodi has kindly offered to accommodate the Domans until such time as they are ready to set out for Mordona. Those healthy enough to travel will embark as soon as transportation has been secured, while those too weak to leave at once will be permitted to stay until they regain their strength. What news? Transportation remains our greatest obstacle, General. Is there aught the immortal flames can do? I fear that exceeds our mandate. Were it a smaller number, mayhap it would go unnoticed, but the Syndicate will not bear the cost of escorting more than 200 Domans to Mordona. When government fails to act, the responsibility falls to us private citizens. I will engage the services of the 77 caravans on the Doman's behalf. Very well. We should begin contract negotiations at once. Your generosity is most welcome, my lord. After all that has befallen these good people, it is the least I can do. Come what may, you shall ever have a friend in Ul'dah, Lady Yugiri. And you in Revenant's Toll, my lord. Well, it sounds like we all have work to do. Lady Yugiri, let's put our heads together and settle the details of our arrangement, shall we? I would entrust the task of escorting our Doman friends to you, after you have rested your own road-weary legs, of course. What say you? Of course. Won't be able to advance the story unless I do. All right. As we speak, the Domans prepare for departure at Vesper Bay, wherefrom they will be transported by carriage to Ul'dah. That said, this has all been decided rather suddenly, and it would not surprise me if the refugees required some assistance in coordinating their preparations. Anne, I would have you return to Vesper Bay and facilitate the process through tasks great and small. In short, whatever must needs be done, do it. Speak with a man named Hozan when you arrive. As Lady Yugiri tells it, he has been designated the leader of the first group. All right. We will go find this Hozan. And how are y'all doing today? I hope everything's going good wherever you are. This morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Drop a quick message down in the chat, or if you just prefer to lurk, by all means, just hang out and enjoy the story and the atmosphere with us. We're happy to have you. Of course, you got any comments or suggestions as well, we'd love to hear those too. Greetings. Alphino informed me that a scion would be arriving to help with the preparations. I am honored to meet you, though shamed as well. A great warrior should not be tasked with such trivialities. I knew from a glance what manner of woman you were. I too have some skill at arms, as do many of our people. Pray, forgive this trifle, but might I trouble you to help round up the children that have been given into my care? They are most adept at staying hidden from my sight, but perhaps your keen eyes will succeed where I have failed. You have my thanks, friend. Pray, seek out my son Yozan. He can tell you more. Oh, hello there. I'm Yozan, son of Hozan. Will you be coming with us to Ul'dah? I hear we're traveling by horse-bird-drawn carriage. But don't you think they're queer? Giant birds that people ride like horses? I still want to try riding one, but... What's that? You're looking for the others. Don't worry, I already told them to get ready for the carriages. I'll need your help, though. We were just finishing a game of hide-and-seek. 3 players are still in hiding, and since Lady Yugiri told us to take it really seriously, they won't move until they're found. But Vesper Bay isn't that big, so I bet you can find them in no time. Hey, you're not Yozan. Who are you? I'm Koharu. An adventurer, eh? I didn't know anyone else was... Wait a minute. You're one of those, stallions, aren't you? No. Scions. Then you must know Lady Yugiri, right? Isn't she great? She's really good at hide and seek, too. Oh, right. It's almost time to go. Nice meeting you, an adventurer. Are you playing? Ah, no fair. Yozan didn't say anything about adults. Huh? We get to ride a horsebird carriage? I don't know. It sounds scary. But if Yozan says it's safe, I'll go. How'd you find me? Guess I need to practice more. Or maybe you're just good at this. I mean, the Garleans didn't find me. Wonderful. All the children are accounted. Hide and seek? Ah, I see you are curious. It is quite simple, really. Lady Yugiri thought it best that the children know what to do in case the Garleans found us. I should hope that those days are behind us, but I nevertheless take comfort in knowing that we are prepared. Yeah, let's see. Hero's Ring of Casting may be good. Yeah, that'll replace our Black Pearl Ring. Item level at 105 now. Why we adventure? The first caravan is due to depart shortly, followed by the rest at regular intervals. My family and I, including my stubborn old father Home, will be traveling in the lead carriage together with young Koharu, whom I believe you've already met. Though I understand the road to Ul'dah is regularly patrolled by your brass blades, it would give us great comfort if you would agree to accompany us on our journey. Once again, I thank you for your kindness. When you are ready to leave, please inform our coachman. There he is. Eager to be off, are you? Aye, well, I was meaning to have a word with you about that. Runner from the Blades says we might have a problem. A fierce-looking beastie's been sighted south of the bridge to Hammerlea. Might be as someone's eyes are playing tricks on him, of course, but it don't pay to gamble in this business. Now, I know you can handle yourself in a fight, but this lot here's another story. So I was thinking you might go on ahead and have a quick look around, make sure the area is safe-like. And if you come across anything dangerous, you know what to do. When you're satisfied the way's clear, meet us outside Horizon. The Blades tell me the road there is safe, so I reckon we can make it that far on our own, assuming the self-same bastards don't try to rob us, that is. Okay, can't get over that, looks like. And we're coming up on an hour into our Labyrinth of the Ancients queue. Let's see, get our chocobo back out here. Maybe he can get some more experience on this. Oh, yeah. How are they doing on experience there? Oh, we've got 3 more SP for our Choco, so let's continue them down the healer path here. Nice. So there was a beastie. Was being the operative word, eh? Ha ha! Well fought, madam, well fought. Ah, if only I were in better health, I should have been proud to stand at your side. Pay my son no mind. He forgets that his responsibilities preclude acts of daring do. Be that as it may, I cannot help but envy you. Had we been able to call upon heroes of your strength and skill in Doma, things would have been very different. But we cannot change the past. Those who fought and fell are forever lost to us. Lost but not forgotten, Lady Ugari's kinsmen least of all. They fought fiercest, though they knew full well it was in vain. She had every right to walk away, yet she chose to stay. Food, shelter, the promise of a better life, all this and more we owe to her. How does one even begin to repay such a debt? In kind, Father, to she who has given everything, we shall give our all. Whatever work there is to be done, we shall do without question. Ditch digging, bricklaying, it matters not. Revenant's Toll will grow and prosper by our hands. Hey, Miss Anne. Koharu and I want to know why you became an adventurer. Oh, let's see. Yeah. To go whither the wild rose blooms. Yeah, to go whither the wild rose blooms. So, you like roses? I think I understand. I mean, they're nice and everything, but don't they grow in lots of places? It's my turn now. Excuse me, Miss Anne. I've got a question. What's Revenant's Toll like? Is it pretty? It is a bustling outpost frequented by countless adventurers. You mean there are lots of people there who are just as strong as you? Oh, I can't wait! Enough, Koharu. It's my turn again. Miss Anne, when I'm older, I want to be strong like you. What do I have to do? Buy weapons and armor from Rowena. Rowena? Is she nice? Are her weapons cheap? I don't have any money at the moment, but my father might. I'll have to ask him. All right. That's enough questions for Miss Anne. That's not fair. Why does Yozan get to ask 2 questions? I want to know about adventuring just as much as he does. Just one more, please. Do you think I could be an adventurer like you one day? Sure. Really? Then I will. Thanks for the advice, Miss Anne. I won't forget it. I'm going to be an adventurer too. When we get to Revenant's Toll, let's make an adventurer's guild for Domans. We'll protect our friends and punish the wicked, just like Miss Anne and Lady Yugiri. Yeah, just like Miss Anne and Lady Yugiri. We can talk more about it in the carriage on the way. Will you be joining us? I think so. Alright, let's see. Next, Alphino and the Quicksand. Actually, it's probably faster just to free teleport inside and then port on over. Ah, Anne, I take it the first group has arrived? Excellent. Is there aught else? No. I have matters well in hand here. You and Lady Yugiri should travel to Revenant's Toll forthwith. No necklace there. It is past time Lady Yugiri met with the guild representatives in Revenant's Toll. Since I do not foresee any further matters arising here in Thanalin which might require your personal attention, I would instead have you serve as an escort to the Doman delegation for the duration of the journey. Speak first with Slafborn upon your arrival. He is the one with whom the Domans will be working most closely, I should think. Afterwards, introduce Lady Yugiri to Minfilia and the guild emissary. If both meetings go well, the resulting ties should stand the Domans in good stead for that which is to come. Safe travels, Anne. All right, off to Revenant's Toll. What's wrong? Not there. There we go. You see, it's like this. And this must be the esteemed Lady Ugiri and her associates. I greet you all as friends, and I bid you welcome to the toll. I hope you do not find our dearth of fineries off-putting. Poor though we may seem, we have a wealth of spirit and camaraderie to spare. You see, race and creed don't enter into it here. We welcome all sorts, provided they are willing to earn their keep, of course. We are no strangers to hard work, Mr. Slaffborn. You may rest assured that we will carry out your orders with due diligence. Oh, not for a moment did I doubt your commitment, my lady. Pray understand, I give the same speech to all new arrivals, and you needn't bow your head or call me master either. We are both frontier hands as far as I'm concerned. As you wish, Slaffborn. May this meeting mark the beginning of a long and fruitful relationship. Our guests have yet to meet the antecedent. 7 hells, Anne, why are you wasting time with me? See them to the rising stones. Okay. To whom much is given, much is expected. Forgive me, I require a moment to compose my thoughts before meeting with your leader. We shall join you at the rising stones anon. Ah, there we go. Finally got a cue to pop on Labyrinth. We can do that now. See if I can muddle my way through this one. I am certainly not the best at doing mechanics on a bunch of these, but, you know, we manage somehow. Well, we'll see. Hopefully we won't have to be abandoned here, but we'll see what happens. Still waiting on one tank. Oh, somebody withdrew from the duty. There we go, try again. Ah, somebody withdrew again. Alright, come on. There we go, waiting on, whoa, 5 DPS now. Got all our tanks and healers accepted. That would be nice to get this out of the way, but if for whatever reason we're not able to, we'll try it offline if we don't get through it today. And we'll record it and just provide some highlights perhaps. Oh man, we were just one short. It got to 14 out of 15 DPSs that time. Alright, all the healers, all the tanks, there we go. Everybody's here now. We are Alliance C, it looks like. See where our tank's going here. Slowed. Oops. Which one is this? Oh, this is... Oh, I gotta get over here. Went up the wrong side. Oh well, that's okay. There we go. Good job, team. They don't know how to do it. Looks like here we go. These are a lot of fun. I do enjoy doing these, even though I'm not that great at them. Oh. Yeah, nobody watches the cutscenes typically. There we go. He's going down. There we go. All right. Get a player accommodation on there at least. We got some miscellaneous stuff there. Ho there, Anne. Very impressive, I must say. Your name shall be writ large in the volumes that are sure to be penned on this historic expedition. The scale of this structure defies comprehension. Someone plainly thought bigger was better. Yeah, I guess so. According to the findings of my Baldessian colleagues, the Crystal Tower was constructed to collect and store the endless energies of the sun, a characteristically ambitious undertaking. Now, what of the tower's inner defenses? Judging by your haggard expression, clearing out the labyrinth was no small feat. A giant of a man wielding a shimmering scimitar, you say? Yes, that will have been Phlegethon, not Acheron. Phlegethon. He was a hero of the Allegan Revolution. And you glean that from what exactly? His choice of weapon? Well, I am a historian, and I have a certain, shall we say, affinity for the lore of the Allegan Empire. It is, of course, all knowledge gleaned from musty scrolls and tomes. The ancient texts claim that the Crystal Tower is defended by the Champions of Eld, resurrected and augmented through the Allegan's extraordinary technology. Chief, you need to see this. Well, well, there it is. The foot of the tower. What surprises do you have in store for us, I wonder? I can't tell you how glad I am to have you with us on this little jaunt, old friend. Had you not beaten a path through that maze, I very much doubt we'd be standing here now. Well, we have much to discuss and digest. Let us retire to St. Koinig's Fine for the present, and there plan our next step. Lest there be any doubt, our expedition has some way to go yet. Alright, so we'll have to get to Graha Tia at St. Koinig's Fine. Cannot fly in here. Let's see, what did we get here in our inventory? Oh, some faded copies of some stuff. Some Allegan Catalyst. We did get some gear. Don't suppose any of it supersedes what we've got, but it might be... We got some Crimson gear, which could be interesting. I'll have to see what that looks like later, when we work on getting ourselves some fashion. So good of you to join us, Anne. Our meeting would be dull indeed without a full account of your experiences in the labyrinth. Take a moment to collect yourself, and when you are ready, we shall debate how best to proceed. The Fellowship of Noah being accounted for, it is time this assembly was called to order. Rambrose will be presiding over the meeting. If you would be so kind as to inform him of your readiness to proceed. Welcome back, Anne. I have just been reading about your encounter in the Labyrinth of the Ancients. It pleases me greatly to note that you seem none the worse for the experience. For your reference, I have added my own notes to Graha's preliminary expedition report and begun compiling a Crystal Tower survey log. The information contained therein will be available to you at all times. Should you have any questions, you need only ask. Now, if there are no objections, I shall begin with a summary of the expedition's key accomplishments. Yeah, let's see. Take a materia, skill speed, spell speed. In the course of this, our first foray into the grounds of the Crystal Tower, we succeeded in neutralizing the structure's outer defenses before proceeding to secure the maze surrounding the base of the spire. According to Anne's account, the labyrinth's defenses were most emphatically active. Disturbingly, her report also mentions a violent encounter with a sentry heavily augmented by Allagan technology. In short, our misgivings were well founded. The Crystal Tower was not simply thrust above ground by the chaotic shifting of Earth, it has somehow been reawoken. If, as seems increasingly likely, the tower's secrets should prove too dangerous to share with the world, we will have no choice but to contain them. Short of leveling the place, this will almost certainly involve returning its mechanisms to a state of dormancy. To do that, however, we will first need to address the question of how they work, the answer to which must surely be waiting for us inside the tower itself. In conclusion, that is where we must go. A task rather easier said than done if the perils of the labyrinth are any indication. Then I move that all further exploration of the tower be delayed until such time as an exhaustive analysis of the structure's defenses has been completed. Master Garland, may I entrust this task to you? It would be my pleasure. Don't forget about us. It's like you said, Chief. We founded the Ironworks to make sure that technology was used for the right reasons, and that means making sure it's not used for the wrong ones. We wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't see this through to the end. Lads, well, I hope you're ready for some back-breaking chores. Well, everything seems to be in hand here, so I shall take my leave of you for the present. If I am to witness this valiant tale unfold with mine own eyes, I must needs hone my martial skills ere we ascend the spire. You'll do nothing of the sort, Graha. Your knowledge may prove useful to Master Garland's investigation. As an observer, I am not, strictly speaking, subject to your authority. Pray, do not mistake my intent, Anne. I am well aware that I shall never be a match for one with your innate talents, however hard I train. Be that as it may, pray do not allow your skills to rust from disuse during the coming pause. We will need you fighting fit if our subsequent forays are to prove as productive as this one. Mark me, we have not yet caught more than the briefest glimpse of that which time has obscured. Soon, however, we shall cast off the veil and gaze upon the glory of the Allagan Empire. And with that encouraging thought in mind, it is time to bring this assembly to a close. Let us all focus on the tasks at hand that our next expedition may begin all the sooner. Meeting adjourned. Such a terrible mess. Yet it does leave the door wide open, so to speak. One cannot help but be impressed. I'm beginning to understand the reliance you place on adventurers, old friend. So, this is the legacy of the Allagan Empire left behind. If my readings are correct, the energy source waiting atop the tower is a match for even the Ultima weapon. Nay, more than a match. A new toy for me to play with. I believed the fates had conspired to deny me my just rewards once again, but it would seem they had a greater destiny in mind for me. And so long as my ambition burns, I shall strive to seize it. The dream lives on, Cid. Do not disappoint me. All right. And back in the day when this was new, it would have been months, you know, because this would have been the point where they went from one episode of the expansion to the next, and it would take a few months for them to release the next one, and that's why they make it sound like it's going to take some time. Circus Tower. Ah, 'tis you, my friend. You are doubtless eager to hear of our progress on the Crystal Tower. Excellent. I'd be disappointed to hear otherwise. Of course, disappointed is the word of the day, I fear. I'm ashamed to say that there is nothing worthwhile to report. The suns continue to probe the labyrinth of the ancients, and every day brings new discoveries. Alas, the same cannot be said of the Crystal Tower proper. We've not been able to set so much as a single foot inside it. You will recall how the 8 sentinels stood between us and the labyrinth initially. In like manner, the entryway to the principal spire, Circus Tower, the Alligans called it, is also protected by technology far more advanced than our own. Cid and I have tried every trick we know, but without success. Frankly speaking, we are at a loss. It is discouraging, but we cannot give up. There must be a way in. And so the situation stands, my friend. Until we gain entry into the tower, I fear your talents shan't avail us. It will require time that I am loath to waste, but I have a mind to set my people to scouring such ancient texts as we have on hand. Perhaps we can be of assistance. And you are... Be at ease, friends, for we share the self-same goal. I am Une, and my companion is called Doga. We are scholars of the Allagan civilization, sent by the students of Baldessian to assist in your endeavor. Une and Doga, rather unusual names for this day and age, if I might be forgiven for observing, but I digress. You claim to be here at the students' behest, but we have received nary a word of your coming. I am sure you'll not take it amiss if we seem somewhat doubtful. We can only assume that the message failed to reach you due to some mishap. I assure you that we are here to help. What is it, Graha? 'Tis nothing. There was a pain, but it has subsided. Well, well, this is rather unexpected. Your right eye is the same as ours. The same? You have the Allagan eye as well. This sanguine hue is said to be a trait unique to the Allagans, yet I inherited it from my father as he did from his. Only one child in a single generation is born with the eye. All my life I have sought to learn the truth of its manifestation. If there is aught you know, I implore you to tell me. My deepest apologies, but we have no answers for you. Only one thing is certain. Those who possess the trait are bound by fate to Allag. As your eye has placed you upon the path you walk, so too have we come here to fulfill our destiny. Absurd though it may sound, it is the truth. It seems to me we have naught to lose by accepting their aid. What say you? If that is your wish, then so be it. Yet know that I still mean to verify your story with the students of Baldessian when I am able. I trust there will be no objections. Very well. As of this moment, I name Une and Doga advisory members of NOAA. Without further ado, let us have them examine the circus tower entrance. I promise you'll not have cause to regret your decision. Anne, I should be much obliged if you were to accompany our new friends to the tower. Biggs and Wedge are presently surveying the 8 sentinels. The 2 of them can show you the way. Upon arrival, pray report to Master Garland. He will brief you on the situation. I shall join you, Anne. With Une and Doga's knowledge, along with your uncanny knack for setting events in motion, I am hopeful that we will finally see progress. All right. Let's see. Go to the 8 sentinels here again. Well, if it isn't Anne, eager to enter Circus Tower and kill everything in sight, no doubt. As I'm sure you've already heard, though, the place is locked up tight as a clam. New friends from the students, you say? Excellent! It's been slow going, or rather, no going, for the chief. He'll appreciate the help. If you'll just follow me, I'll take you to him. Ah, some old faces to lift the spirit, and a couple of new ones besides. Allow me to introduce Une and Doga. They are scholars of ancient Alag, sent here by our friends of Baldessian to aid in the investigation. We understand you're having trouble circumventing the tower's defenses. 'Tis our hope that we can be of some small assistance. If your attire is aught to go by, your assistance should prove invaluable indeed. To begin with, let me tell you where we stand. Beyond rises Circus Tower, the principal spire of the structure collectively known as the Crystal Tower. The only way to get inside is through the proverbial front door, the imposing gate you see here. The problem is, we can't get it to open. It's sealed by some mechanism whose workings are an utter mystery to us. Having had no success via more orthodox methods, I went at it with everything from a pickaxe to a Magitech cannon. Nothing so much as put a scratch on it. For a blessing, the gate doesn't try to reduce us to ashes like the 8 sentinels, but that doesn't make it any less effective a security measure. It's fiendishly frustrating in its simplicity. The only clue we have is the elaborate device carved upon it. A man and a woman respectant. Allagan royalty, by my judgment. Precisely who these individuals were we cannot say, nor do we know whether the device actually serves a purpose. Like as not, it is purely decorative. If you're thinking to force it, save your strength. It's no use. Just ask the calluses on my hands. Rest assured, we do not mean to waste our strength. Indeed, why should we exert ourselves when the gate will open of its own accord? I don't think any of us expected that to happen. 7 hells! What is this? What did you do? What are you? Piercing the heavens and gathering the light, a symbol of mankind's glory and might. Its virtue guarded by gates impregnable, only to those of royal blood answerable. Exactly as passed down through the legend, I am delighted to see. Beg pardons for interrupting your bewilderment. I couldn't help but notice the remarkable playthings you have acquired. Nero? You're still alive? Garland, Garland, if I didn't know better, I would say you weren't happy to see me. Ah, but I jest. In light of our recent meetings, you have every right to be wary. But rest assured I am no longer a threat to you. My legion is for all intents and purposes defunct, and my association with it means a tight noose awaits me back in Garlemald, and so I've been roaming this land Eorzea, a regular itinerant. In the course of my wanderings, I chanced to catch wind of your latest venture. It sounded positively fascinating, and so I decided to come here and join you. After the wrongs you've committed, you think us that gullible? If you are suspicious of my intent, 'tis only my just deserts. But I am determined to make amends. As a gesture of goodwill, I will share with you what I know, starting with these 2 odd characters. As you are doubtless already aware, the Crystal Tower was the symbol of ancient Alleg's might and prosperity. Entry was permitted only to royalty and a few select individuals. According to the records I have unearthed, only royal blood can open the gate. In other words, the Emperor and his progeny were living keys. You mean to say that these 2 are descended from Allegan royalty? Oh, I suggest nothing so glamorous. To put it plain, they are imitations of royalty. Living keys born of Allegan ingenuity. Clones, I believe, is the name your creators gave your kind. Is that not so? It would seem that the time for concealment is past. Pray, accept our apologies. 'Twas not our intent to deceive. We simply wished to avoid causing undue alarm by prematurely making what many would consider deranged claims. If it please you, let us return to the 8 Sentinels. There is much and more to tell. Very well. Seven hells. Do you seriously mean to follow us around? Come, Garland, you know me better than to think that I spoke in jest. What more will it take for us to be reconciled? A gift, perhaps? An Allegan tombstone. It holds the information I just shared with you, and a deal more besides. It used to be the jealously guarded property of the 14th Legion, but it's yours now. I wish you enjoy it. I wish you joy of it. I look forward to working together, old friend. If you are ready to listen, we shall tell you all. As it pertains closely to your investigation, your leader, Rambrose, may wish to be present. Before we begin, pray allow me to apologize again. It was not our intent to deceive you. As you will have already gathered, we are not scholars sent by the students of Baldessian. Nay, we are clones, copies of people who once existed, given life through Allagan technology. This is rather a lot to take in. If it would not be considered unseemly, might I ask why you and yours were created? And more specifically, what is it that you now seek to do? Answering your questions requires that we revisit Allagan history. Pray, bear with us. The Allagan Empire reached its zenith long before our kind came into being. In that glorious age, the Crystal Tower stood tall as the symbol of Allagan pride. Parents took their children there that they might learn how the nigh limitless energy it produced brought prosperity to the whole empire. That prosperity, however, bred decadence, and the empire began to show signs of stagnation. This decline was made all the more rapid for want of strong leadership. In a matter of generations, the Allagan civilization became a pale shadow of its former self. Its once gleaming cities fell into disrepair, and its frontier lands were given over to the wilderness. Lamenting the pitiful state of affairs, one technologist made it his mission to restore Allag to greatness. Ammon was his name, and he believed that the ailing empire wanted for but a potent ruler, and none was more potent than its founding father, whom he sought to resurrect. The founding father? You cannot mean Emperor Xandi. None other. As part of his experiments, Ammon created clones of the Emperor's descendants. We are the products of that experiment, copies of Une and Doga. Historical texts mention the reigns of two Allagan emperors named Xandi. It was commonly believed that the second was the namesake of the first. After all, such a custom is not uncommon among royalty and commoners alike. To think that the two were in fact one and the same. Aye, Xandi returned from the grave and assumed his throne once more. And true to Ammon's prediction, the Emperor restored his realm to the glory it once knew. Would that he could have been satisfied with that. In his previous life, the Emperor desired to bring the entire world under Allagan dominion, an ambition that ultimately went unfulfilled. Having been granted a second chance, he was determined to succeed. Realizing that he needed more power to wage his war of conquest, Xandi turned his sights toward a forbidden source, darkness. In order to learn how to harness this power, he converted the Crystal Tower into a restricted research facility. That makes Nero happy. Yee. Darkness again? Seven hells, what is it with megalomaniacal rulers turning to darkness in their lust for power? Well, at least this one won't be bothering us, being thousands of years dead and all. Would that you were right, Master Garland. Huh? Alas, Emperor Xandi is very much alive. Within Circus Tower he still abides, his ambition burning all the more ardently for his empire's collapse. Wielding the power of darkness requires prodigious amounts of energy that not even the Crystal Tower could produce. In order to augment the shortfall, Dalamud was created and launched into the heavens. On high it hung, gathering the sun's energy and channeling it to the tower below. However, a miscalculation resulted in a surge of energy that escaped into the land. This triggered an earthquake of unprecedented violence, the calamity that ushered in the Fourth Umbral Era. In the blinking of an eye, the mighty Allag Empire was laid to waste. Yet, even as the Crystal Tower was sinking into the earth, the technologist Ammon, now Emperor Zandi's closest aide, invoked powerful magics and halted the flow of time. Every soul within the structure, the Emperor included, was placed in a deep slumber. In that state, they were to remain until the time was ripe to awaken. Eras came and went. After millennia lying dormant, Dalamud was summoned back to the earth. Its descent triggered the Seventh Umbral Calamity, in the wake of which the Crystal Tower re-emerged. At that moment, Emperor Zandi awakened. In his lust for power, the Emperor consorted with darkness and was seduced by its corrupting influence. Even though his empire is now little more than a fading memory, he will stop at nothing to see his ambition realized. "'Tis for no other purpose but to put an end to Zandi's madness that we exist. This is the mantle we have inherited from our namesakes, the true Une and Doga." Fearing what might befall the world, the two of them sought to thwart their emperor. They gave unto us their will, that we might carry on their mission should they fail. When we came to our senses within the Crystal Tower, we deliberated a course of action. Concluding that we alone could not overcome Zandi, we struck out to find a worthy ally. It has taken years, but our search is finally over. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can cut a path through the labyrinth of the ancients. With you as our champion and adventurer, we are confident that we can end Zandi's dark ambition once and for all. Well, that'll teach me for speaking too soon. Setting my chagrin aside, I see now why you knew about the students of Baldessian among a host of other things. You were observing our investigation the whole time. So, what will we do, Anne? The world's in grave danger again, and it just so happens you're an expert at saving it. Well, along with millions of other adventurers, but that's cool. Yeah. You have our eternal gratitude. Together, let us see the Allagan Empire's dark past laid to rest. It has been our mission to recover the long-lost knowledge of the Allagan civilization, but what worth is that knowledge if it means subjecting the realm to peril? Truth be told, it pains me to think that the Tower's secrets may become lost to us, but the greater good must ever come first. Besides, no quantity of ancient relics can compare to our friends Une and Doga, living, breathing Allagans. And so I hereby declare a change in Noah's objective. Henceforth, we shall direct all efforts towards sealing off Circus Tower. Its dark secrets must never know the light of day. And, as you did for us with the Labyrinth of the Ancients, I would have you enter the structure and eliminate hostile elements. Suffice it to say, this includes Emperor Zandi himself. Okay. Meanwhile, the rest of us shall examine ways to isolate Circus Tower from the outside world. To work then! Wait, there is something I must know. My right eye is like yours. Does this mean... You inherited the trait from your father, you said. Know that clones are unable to bear offspring. You have no cause for concern. The Allegan Eye, you called it, but to us it is the Royal Eye, owing to the fact that the trait manifests only in those possessed of royal blood. I cannot well explain why the eye runs in your line, but I am disinclined to think it a coincidence. Though you are doubtless impatient to learn the truth, pray have patience. All will be revealed in due time. My apologies if I've given you cause to worry. I am quite well, I assure you. As you can appreciate, there has been much for me to think on. But now is the time for action, not idle thoughts. Circus Tower awaits us. Your task is to eliminate all hostile elements within the structure, Zandy himself included. This will afford us the chance to seal off the facility. May the crystal grant you strength. All right. So we'll go ahead and queue up for Circus Tower as well and take a brief intermission here. Let's see, let me get that started first. And if it pops while we're in intermission, ooh, it's right away. How about that? Well, we will certainly go straight into that then. Well, no intermission for now. Yeah, assuming everybody can join it. They may have been sitting out there a long time and folks going to sleep. All right, one more healer, one more DPS needed. See if it does like the last one. Several attempts before everybody catches it. There we go, try again. And again. Oh, okay. All the tanks and healers, one more DPS, and we're off. Yeah, let's see which alliance we are. We're Alliance C again here. All right. have I got? Hey, there's Ammon. There he goes. Wow, another level for us. You fight valiantly, mortals, but to no avail. Absolute darkness draws nigh. Soon it will be unleashed, and all shall something. There we go. Get on those floating platforms so we avoid the earthquakes. go. Well, I muddled through that one okay too, it looks like. Yeah! That was all I needed was that onion knight. That'll be fun. We can leave that. You know, we got really lucky with that cue. And you did it! You defeated Emperor Xandi! Empires may rise and fall, but man's indefatigable spirit ever lives on. Truly, you are the champion we had hoped for, an adventurer. With Emperor Xandi now at eternal rest, his dark legacy may be undone. What are you playing at now, Nero? In case you haven't noticed, Garland, these are dangerous surrounds. Can a man be faulted for exercising due caution? At any rate, you needn't mind me. I am perfectly capable of looking after myself. Go on and finish what you came to do. There are two ways that we may seal off Circus Tower. Either isolate it from the outside world, or cripple its ability to produce energy. The choice of method is yours to make. Before you proceed, however, Doga and I must needs attend to a task. That distortion, what is it? The power that Xandi sought to obtain comes from the void, the world of darkness, our people called it. And the true nature of that power was none other than the armies of Voidsent. Voidsent feed on ether, as you may already know, and no plane is richer in it than ours. In exchange for their allegiance, Xandi entered into an unholy covenant. He would open a gate through which the Voidsent could freely enter our world. The covenant, I'm afraid to say, is still in effect. However, being of the Emperor's lineage, Une and I believe that we can annul it. By his blood, Xandi sealed his dark pact. By our blood, it shall be undone. It is time. Yes, Doga. Finally, we may fulfill our purpose. Oh, be still, my beating heart. For a moment I feared that this outing would end in disappointment, but my readings were not mistaken. Not even the Ultima weapon compares to this. What are you going on about? The covenant is everlasting. And so Mericidia is brought into the fold. Soon all the world shall be united under Allagan rule. And yet, with every dream that becomes reality, the memory of death grows ever more vivid, an endless void bereft of light and warmth. Though I may have defeated death, it did not leave me unscathed. Nay, its ravening claws have scarred my soul for eternity. Never shall I know peace. Beings without will, you cannot fathom my rage, my melancholy, my fear. What worth is wealth and power when all must inevitably be consigned to nothingness? If man has nothing, he need not know the pain of loss. So, let there be nothing. Harvest more power, that the gate may be thrown full open. Let the cloud of darkness come and engulf the world, devouring all life, hopes, and dreams. Let all be returned to nothingness. Anne, pull yourself together. Is there no end to them? What in the seven hells is happening? Ah, not now, damn it. Whoa, way to go, Sid. Nero, were they part of your grand plan too? Save your japes, Garland. I didn't put up with your arrogant face to play with worthless clones. Something controls them. A void scent, and no ordinary one at that. Doga! Confound it, without them there's no way to master the darkness. That power is mine. Nero! The covenant shall be honored. I am the cloud of darkness. I shall devour your light and return this world to the void. Damn it, the rift is gone. What are we supposed to do now? As much as it pains me to leave without them, there's precious little we can do. Let us return to the find and consult Rambros. Good plan. All right, and we will take a brief intermission here. I desperately need one here for a moment. And we'll be back shortly, just a few minutes here. Thank you for your patience. We're back. All right, so we got to get back to Rambros and talk to him. See how quickly we can unlock the next one. I am rather happy with switching data centers here. Those queue times are not too bad. I mean, first thing in the morning though is rough, of course, but not too bad once we get a few hours into the day here. So far, anyways, it seems like. And this is the weekend, so that probably helps a little bit. All this happened within the tower? Gods preserve. The rift that manifested before the throne was a void gate, of this I am certain. There exist myriad kinds of void scent. The more powerful the being, the larger the gate must be for it to pass through. It would seem that Xandi sought to open a gate of unprecedented proportions, one that would allow this cloud of darkness entry into our world. Fortunately for all mankind, he did not succeed. I shudder to imagine what this void scent is capable of. However dreadful it may be, we can't abandon our friends. Is there no way to save them? I will not lie to you, Master Garland. The situation is bleak. Though void scent can enter our world, instances of men entering the void have never been documented. It pains me to give voice to my fears, but we do not even know whether our friends still live. Damn it, I feel so helpless. No, I refuse to give up. We must save Doga and Une. We share the same eye, 'tis true, but that is not what motivates me. Above all, I wish to help them to fulfill their mission, a mission whose burden they have borne for thousands of years. And besides, we cannot leave matters as they are. So long as Zandi's dark covenant is binding, our world is in danger. 'Tis our duty to prevent the worst from coming to pass. Graha, ever since meeting Une and Doga, you have not quite been yourself. Tell me true, is all well with your eye? I honestly cannot say. I know only that there is a memory that I must recall. As a child, my father told me that the truth of our eye rests with Alec. The answer eludes me still, but one day I will find it. I am with Graha. However slim the odds, we must try to save Une and Doga. Aye, and that bastard Nero as well, if only to make certain that he won't make any more mischief. You have the right of it. Though we have known them but briefly, Doga and Une are our comrades. We cannot fail them. I shall consult experts in literature both. I swear to leave no stone unturned. Yet know that it may be a while before we are ready to act. I would ask that you all be patient. When dealing with the void, one cannot be cautious enough. My thanks again for your assistance. Pray rest now while you can, for when the time comes to go after our friends, you must be at no less than full strength. We'll save them yet, Anne. Mark my words. All right. I am curious. Any of you remember when this came out? Have you played that long here? This was quite a wait between releases of these Crystal Tower dungeons here. The World of Darkness. Ah, Anne, it is good you are come. I have news you must be made aware of. Alas, none of it bodes well for us, nor for Une, Doga, and Nero imprisoned in the Dark Realm. Think back upon our last foray into Circus Tower, if you will. The calamity stirred the place from its long slumber and awoke Emperor Zandi, but you, Anne, you ensured he was laid to rest permanently. Yet the Emperor had sealed a binding covenant with the terrible void scent known as the Cloud of Darkness. Even as Doga and Une labored to annul this contract, the entity reached through a rift and dragged the pair of them, and Nero, out of our realm. Since that day, Noah has devoted itself to rescuing Une, Doga, and Nero from beyond the rift. Our research, however, has exposed a far more dire problem. The Crystal Tower still acts upon Emperor Zandi's orders and collects energy to open another void gate even as we speak. Indeed, the place nigh hums with energy. We have done all we can to stop the Imperial Edict, but to no avail. Just as the gate would open only for Une and Doga, so too will the tower heed only those with the royal blood of Alec. 'Tis a most galling design. Granted, this was not always so vexatious according to the Allegan tombstone Nero presented us. During the golden age of Alec, the royalty had some means of bestowing their blood upon others. If they hadn't such a technology, Ammon and his underlings could never have controlled the Crystal Tower. But we do not have either this art or any with royal blood. Every moment we wait, a vast rift through which the cloud of darkness can enter our realm threatens to open. Such a disaster cannot be allowed to come to pass. We must seal the Crystal Tower and annul Xandi's covenant with the Dark Realm. If only breaking the ladder would suffice. But then, what of the energy building in the Crystal Tower? Without suppression, that power could discharge and cause a calamity like to the one that destroyed Alec. In truth, we have more than just 3 lost compatriots to worry about. If we do not act, our very world will fall before the might of this threat. I agree. We know but one way out of this predicament. Rescue those who can control the tower from beyond the Dark Realm and seal the rift shut after them. And mercifully, not all our news is quite so bleak. 'Tis true we cannot stop the Void Gate from manifesting within the tower, but this can be to our benefit. We can use Circus's power for our own purposes and create a portal to carry us into the Dark Realm. All right. We have heard this is possible from a man of the Thaumaturge's Guild well versed in otherworldly matters, and with Master Garland working to create said portal, the final preparations are well underway. Ah, and here comes the man himself. Anne, just the woman we need. Yes, our fellowship is indeed complete and all parties privy to our strategy. And you, Master Garland, how fare your endeavors? Quite well. The device is nearly ready, though attaching the damnable thing to Circus Tower took every ounce of ingenuity the Ironworks has got, but it should produce the energy we need. With just a little more fine-tuning, we can open a rift. I'm here to request your presence at the tower. I'll leave Biggs and Wedge at the 8 Sentinels as guides, and do hurry, Anne. I'm sure you wouldn't miss another chance to save the world, would you? Well, Sid certainly seems to have a firm hand on the helm. Shall we make our way to the Crystal Tower? And back to the 8 Sentinels again to speak with Wedge. Now, just as an aside, I've been watching the Star Wars series again. And every time Biggs and Wedge show up in there, of course, I think of this too. That was back in the 70s when Biggs and Wedge were created for that. Anne, I bet you're here to watch us pry open a rift between worlds, eh? We're almost ready. Circus Tower is full of engineers scurrying around and making adjustments. We're dealing with a lot of power, and if a single coupling's off, well, boom! But it should be fine, really. Anyway, you'd best wait at the top. The chief's there overseeing the whole operation. My friends, you've arrived. I'm just waiting for my engineers to give the signal. Then, we'll see if we can't open a gate to another world. Is there something amiss, Graha? Ah, Emperor Xandi's throne. How the mighty have fallen, eh? Once it stood as a symbol of Alleg's art and power, now it's nothing more than an empty chair. Just imagine if Allegan civilization had lived on, and a just emperor still sat on that throne. How different would our history be? How much further would we have advanced? Unfortunately, there was no stopping Xandi and his ambition. There were those who tried. Xandi's war of dominion left no one unscathed. Unable to abide the horrors inflicted upon the people, warriors young and brave took up the sword against Alleg. These men and women became as beacons of hope to those who had suffered, not unlike the warriors of light in our age. But all this merely hastened the destruction. Just as they moved towards Alleg's heart for the kill, Xandi lashed out in anger and frustration, as trapped beasts are wont to do. In his desperation, Xandi desired that a great rift be opened to hasten the cloud of darkness's coming. To this end, he commanded the sun's power held within Dalamud be emptied into Circus Tower at once. The act bore terrible consequences. The tower only withstood the blast by flooding the land below with energy. Circus was swallowed by the very earth upon which it once stood. The fourth umbral calamity. I'd learned of its cause from Une and Doga. I had no idea that rebellion incited Xandi to rashness, though. Your knowledge of Allegan history is astounding, Graha. Why, a man could study for 2 lifetimes and only learn half of what you know. Mayhap. 'Tis strange, though. I cannot seem to remember where I learned such things. Yes? Ah, Biggs, are you ready? Ready and raring to open up that void gate, Chief. We reckon when this machine's up and running, she'll be able to float 5 airships the size of the Agrius. So just give us the word and we'll start channeling energy into the tower. Good. Then let's get started. Our preparations are complete. Everyone, step away from the throne. All right, let's see what this machine can do. Now, Biggs. Ah, a rift to the world of darkness, as Une called it. Splendid work, Master Garland. We can't break out the mead just yet. The tough part's still ahead. We've broken into the Dark Realm, but the gate's not all that stable. It won't stay open forever, and only a few can use it. I, for one, will remain here to ensure the Void Gate stays open. As will the Sons of St. Koinik. This rift is our sole path to salvation. If it closes, we are all truly lost. Which leaves Anne. My friend, 'tis a heavy burden I must task you with, but there are none more able. Pray, lead the adventurers beyond the rift. I do not know what awaits you save the cloud of darkness and our 3 comrades, but you must go, for the fate of our world now rests upon your shoulders. This is our only gambit, but I have every faith you will succeed. It will be no small feat to return after you have passed beyond the rift. Make certain you are prepared before leaving. Might I have a moment of your time, Anne? There is a matter of import we must needs discuss ere you leave. Anne, I wish to speak to you about my eye. As you are no doubt aware, 'tis a trait seen only amongst Allagan royalty. Long have I pondered why such is my inheritance. The sanguine hue must have some bearing upon my destiny. This much Doga himself admitted. But what? In truth, the more I learn of the Crystal Tower, the less I am myself. Somehow, meeting those two clones has wrought great change in me. I am consumed with remembering something ancient but ever so important. And my father's words echo in my mind, the selfsame ones his father told him. The truth of our eye rests with Allig. Mayhap what I wish to remember and these words are related, mayhap not. But I know I must learn the truth that history hides from me. I would see this journey, our journey, through to the very end with mine own two eyes. So I implore you, allow me to join you beyond the rift. Okay. You have my thanks, my friend. Now, let us venture into the world of darkness to save our comrades and our realm. Right. We'll go ahead and queue that one up, see if we get it fairly soon or not. We are getting close to the end of our stream, but let's see what happens here. We'll head back to the Rising Stones here. It says the average wait time should be about 28 minutes, so we may not get that. If we get it within the next several minutes or so, we might go ahead and run it here. So, as you recall here, the Domans have come to Revenant's Toll. Yeah, and you know what? I think I'm just going to cancel that. Cancel that duty. We won't try it today. We'll start it up first thing tomorrow when we resume the stream. We'll just play through some of the main story here for now. "'Tis no use. Our attempts to reach the students of Baldessian continue to meet with failure. Urianger has explored other avenues of inquiry, but they too have yielded naught. We will persevere, of course, yet within our hearts the truth is clear. We are but awaiting confirmation of that which we already know." That's a shame. "How fare the Domans? I am given to understand you are kept quite busy in Vesper Bay. Mayhap you question the wisdom of aiding refugees when the primal threat remains unresolved. I should not blame you if you did, nor would I deny that this matter falls outside our normal purview. Be that as it may, I could not ignore the plight of these refugees, not when it was within our powers to help them. Lady Ugiri is here. Please show her in. I should very much like to meet her." We have no objections. Pray do so with our blessing. Your answer pleases me beyond words, my lady, but are you quite certain? We have no way of knowing how many might answer my summons. In the event that Revenant's toll could not accommodate us all, we would need to find an alternative solution. Should that come to pass, we will find it together. As ever, it has been a pleasure, Antecedent. Alas, we must take our leave, as the first carriages are due to arrive at any moment. Should you require aught else, pray speak with Slaffborn, Lady Ugri, Anne. Laman and I will make all the necessary preparations to ensure that our Doman friends feel at home upon their arrival. Though I must admit that I am still troubled about the matter of the missing crystals. Y'shtola should be returning anon with a report from afield. Mayhap you could wait here and speak with her upon her arrival.
How goes the fishing? Caught anything slippery?
Aye. Our suspicions were well founded. The Serpent Reavers are indeed the culprits.
The plot thickens.
Has there been any movement in Thanalan?
It has been blessedly quiet, which is to say the Amalja are being no more or less of a nuisance than usual, summoning Ifrit with such crystals as they have hoarded. Urianger, too, reports not out of the ordinary.
Then we have our explanation.
Your explanation for what, pray tell?
For the recent spate of crystal thefts in Thanalan, we naturally assumed that the trail would lead us back to the Amalja. Yet it did not. It led us across the sea unto Vilbrand.
Vilbrand? There have been reports of increased Sahagin activity of late. Oh gods, they mean to summon Leviathan?
That is the way of it, I fear. Whilst conducting our investigation on behalf of the mineral concern, we came upon evidence implicating the Serpent Reavers. With the aid of the Maelstrom, I was able to verify our suspicions. 'Tis only a matter of time before Leviathan returns to harrow the seas. But there is more. One of the Sahagin, an elder by my judgment, spoke of attaining the gift and knowledge of eternity.
Ugh.
Such a disturbance in the ether. If I did not know better, I should think this device defective. And there is the explanation.
Soon, soon it shall begin. Our Lord shall rise midst surging waves to wash away the finless ones. And I shall be granted the gift and knowledge of eternity, and with the emissary stand equal. Then shall I know no cessation, no oblivion.
Whence comes this promise of immortality? The emissary? We have outstayed our welcome.
The gift and knowledge.
Are the two of you quite well?
You shared that vision, did you not? Even before the Sahagin made mention of the emissary, I recognized Elidibus's words. He is behind this. But surely it is not within his power to grant the echo.
My lady, unless we act swiftly, Leviathan will rise again. The Admiral has already requested that we intervene to prevent this. Failing that, we are to attend to the Primal's extermination.
She will have our full cooperation. Let us make haste to Limsa Lominsa. I mean to play a part in this mission. Tataru, pray, take charge in my absence.
My lady, are you sure this is wise?
I am aware of the risks, but there is something I must see with mine own eyes. The true nature of the echo.
Very well. I shall not stand in your way. On the condition that you permit me to accompany you as bodyguard.
Your company is ever welcome, Thancred.
I take it something ill is afoot.
Aye. A Primal is about to be loosed upon Eorzea.
A primal?
A godlike being whose very existence is a bane upon the land. We scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to put an end to their kind.
I see. Know then that I am learned in the arts of war. In return for the kindness you have shown my people, I would lend you my blade.
It would be most welcome. When contending with a Primal, one can never have too many able allies. If you crave a more intimate understanding of the problems facing Eorzea, this experience is like to provide it. Be sure to come well prepared.
The sea rises. Plainly, should the worst come to pass and Leviathan is summoned, our only recourse will be to face him in battle. Given past experience, you may very well think that eventually inevitable. Yet so long as there is even a chance that the Primal's return might be prevented, we must needs bend all our efforts toward achieving that goal. Before we do aught else, let us hasten to Limsa Lominsa and meet with the Admiral. She will not have been idle in the intervening time and will doubtless have valuable information to share. You are expected. Pray take this lift to the command room. Welcome, friends. I take it Ishtola has apprised you of the situation? Let us waste no time then. According to our best intelligence, the Sahagin had not crystals enough to summon their god. Alas, we did not count on the Serpent Reavers venturing as far as Thanalan to supplement their cache. For our short-sightedness, we are faced with the grim prospect of Leviathan's imminent return. Needless to say, I am not inclined to let the fishbacks have their way. Even as we speak, the Maelstrom makes ready to launch a large-scale operation to thwart the summoning, and we would welcome the Scion's support in this endeavor. But if, gods forbid, our efforts should come to naught, I will need to trouble you for more than mere support, much as I did when Titan last walked these lands. Lady Menphilia, I am given to understand that you mean to accompany our soldiers to the front lines. I can only assume that you have sound reason for doing so? I do, Admiral, but I would rather not be drawn on their nature. I will say only that there is something I would see with mine own eyes. Is that so? Well, I am not so stubborn as to deny the wish of one whose aid I require, but precautions must be taken. I shall require that you remain by my side at all times. With that settled, let us speak of the operation. Anne, Maelstrom scouts are currently reconnoitering Sahagin movements within the Sapsa spawning grounds. Upon completing their mission, they will return to the operations staging point at Camp Skull Valley. I want you to make your way there forthwith that you might be apprised of the latest intelligence. Commander Falkbrida has charge of the garrison. Okay. Speak with Falkbrida at Camp Skull Valley. I've been expecting you, Scion of the Seventh Dawn. On behalf of the men and women here, I thank you for your cooperation. The safety of our citizens is paramount. With your aid, we will prevent Leviathan's return. And let's see if this necklace will help us. Yeah, that'll boost us to eye level 107. Scouts in distress. As you may already know, Maelstrom scouts have been dispatched to reconnoiter the Sapsa spawning grounds. Though it pains me to admit it, the Maelstrom has never faced a foe the likes of this before. We must proceed with all due caution. Among other things, they have orders to determine where Leviathan might emerge, assuming it comes to that. And yet, their return is long overdue. I fear that ill may have befallen them. For better or worse, we must ascertain their fate. If it is not too much to ask, I would have you aid us in the search. 5 scouts ventured into Sapsa all told. Here, take this flask of restorative to tend those who may have been wounded. Though it pains me to even consider the notion, if they have perished, circumstances permitting, I ask that you recover their bodies. By no means venture too deep into enemy territory, however. We can ill afford to lose you at this juncture. Help somebody of all times to forget the restorative. Erg. Thank you. I owe you my life. We were ambushed by the Serpent Reavers. Lightly armed as we are, we didn't stand a chance. I was able to flee this far, but the others were captured. They were taken to the Serpent's Tongue, I'm certain of it. I could make my own way back to camp, but I fear the worst for my comrades. Save them, I beg you. Okay. And we've leveled up enough. We can do our next Red Mage quest at some point too. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, Choco. Let's carry these back. Your return thanked the navigator. When I learned that you went to the Serpent's Tongue by yourself, I feared you would meet an untimely demise. But tell me, what became of the others? Dear gods, these wounds were not intended to kill, but to torture and maim. Does their savagery know no bounds? Enemies or no, they go too far. I dread to think what may have become of the two who remain unaccounted for. I pray that they haven't suffered the same evil fate. At the very least, one of my men came back alive, and for that I owe you my thanks. The price we paid was dear, but we have the intelligence we need. Even as we speak, the Admiral finalizes the details of the operation. The war horns will sound any moment now. Be ready to sally forth when they do. Thrice damned fishback bastards! I'll kill them slowly and then chase their rotten souls through all 7 hells. Peace, Commander. We are here for a purpose, and vengeance is not it. I want your mind on the task at hand. Savvy? My apologies, Admiral. You may count on me to keep a clear head. Good. According to our sole surviving scout, the Sahagin and their thralls have already begun to amass at the Aetherite in the depths of Sapsa. If we are to act, it must be now. The men are ready, but we await your orders, Admiral. As predicted, the Sahagin have tightened security in and around the spawning grounds. A frontal assault is like to be met with fierce resistance. But we are not so artless as that, Commander. We shall divide our forces and strike them hard and fast at key locations. Remember, our ultimate objective is to take the Sapsa Aetherite and eliminate the Sahagin priest presiding over the summoning. We are not here to kill them all. The Maelstrom shall engage and distract the Sahagin's legion of drowned pirates at the Serpent's Tongue. Commander, you have charge over this effort. Be mindful that the lay of the land there is devilish for attacking forces. Let the foreign levy spearhead the assault, and have subsequent units fan out to cover their flanks. At the selfsame moment, a diversionary squadron formed of galleons from the Crimson Fleet shall harry the enemy from offshore. In likewise, we Scions shall form smaller units in hopes of confusing the Sahagin defensive effort. Anne and Ishtola, the two of you are to make your way to the site of the summoning ritual. The Admiral's diversion should serve to thin the enemy's defenses, rendering your path less perilous. A small party, I believe, should be able to win through without drawing unwarranted attention. Thancred and Ugiri, your mission is to lure as many Sahagin as possible out of the spawning grounds. Having done so, take to your heels and circle round to join the infiltration unit of Ishtola and Anne. When all has been set in motion, I myself shall cut a path to the Aetherite, accompanied by Lady Minfilia as was agreed. Well, don't let me keep you, friends. To battle! When last did we fight side by side, Anne? Too long ago, I warrant. But come, let us away. And I'm going to do something a little unorthodox here. I'm just going to go back to Aleport and log off there. We'll end the stream here before we go push this one any further. Looks like we'll figure out what we're doing with Leviathan tomorrow. So I appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll be here same time tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, for around 3 hours. So please join us if you feel like it. We certainly would love to have you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.